Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. Born in 1875, Carl Jung worked as a research scientist and at the time met Sigmund Freud, and the two men conducted a lengthy correspondence leading to deeper studies into psychoanalysis. With time, however, Jung's vision and personal research made it impossible for the two to work together, and they separated after a period of 6 years. Painful as it was, Jung used the opportunity to go further into his vision and then came up with analytical psychology. This is a comprehensive study of the new empirical way of the psyche, and the major part of it involves the individuation process, where a human being is completely differentiated from other beings. It involves complete transformation, where the personal and the collective unconscious are brought into consciousness as an integration to the psyche. While he did not necessarily create a systematic school of thought, he is nonetheless considered one of the most profound philosophers of his time, his teachings dubbed as the Jungian Philosophy. Carl Jung created several psychological concepts, including synchronicity, archetypal phenomena, the collective unconscious, and extraversion and introversion, among others. In today's video, we bring up 6 teachings of Carl Jung, among many that are, and how they can radically change our lives. Welcome. According to Carl Jung, wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. In his works, Jung explored the concepts of anima and animus, which in essence are the contrasexual aspects of a person's psyche. Jung believed that if you're a man, you inherently have a feminine aspect or anima within you. On the other hand, if you're a woman, you have an animus within you, which is the masculine side. Being able to fully recognize this and work inwardly to appreciate both sides of the being means that we work to appreciate our own psyche. The main consequence of dividing our psyche into 2 different parts is having an external gender identity and a hidden subconscious one. Whether it be the anima or the animus, we will tend to subconsciously neglect the other one and repress it. Humanity and our lives should basically involve free expression of who we really are, and that includes both parts of our contrasexual psyche. For example, society's attitude towards gender identity is that we show that one part of us while repressing the other. If you are a woman, you should inherently look feminine, repress your masculine side so as not to hurt men's ego. If you are a man, then you should be masculine without compromise. And if at any point you try to show your feminine side, then it is considered weakness, all about the alpha male and whatnot. For a gay couple, one is instantly seen as either the feminine or the masculine, instead of them both being seen as people expressing both sides of their psyche. Also, when we accept both aspects of our psyche, we tend to balance out and live in harmony with both. And with this, we are able to interact more positively with the opposite sex. How do we achieve this? For a man, he should integrate his anima by accepting more of his emotional side, be more open to share his feelings with others without necessarily sacrificing his masculinity. For a woman, she should try to be more focused on her goals, work to solve more issues alone without necessarily sacrificing her femininity. In order to constantly improve and thus promote our interactions, we can note how we interact with the opposite sex, how we make our decisions with or without pressure, how aware we are of our emotions, and a lot more. Integrating our shadow, the anima and animus, will balance out our lives. According to Jung, judging someone says more about you than the other person. Judging means that you are projecting. What disturbs us about other people is often what is wrong within us. For example, if you have gone through a recent breakup and you see a couple who have just started seeing each other, more often you will say to yourself or others that they won't last, that they are feigning their happiness to impress others, that no one should be trusted, and that their relationship won't even last a month. The issue here is that your own insecurities about the breakup are making you judge their relationship. You're projecting your own fear of heartbreak or thinking that when you talk ill of the couple, your wound will heal and that you'll forget your pain. So, in order to stop judging others, we should keenly observe what in others makes us judge them, what triggers us to protect and fix our own issues. No one will fix your triggers except you. How we navigate this will be different. One may find a therapist, while journaling will help the other. Just find out what works for you. Not judging others is also a way to show empathy, that you understand what others are going through, or that you acknowledge you are the ones projecting. We can't fully know what is going on in someone's life. For example, I have sat around religious people who judge a lady who got pregnant. All the curses and doom that people say about such a person are unbelievable, that they don't deserve heaven or the church. Some are even excommunicated from the church and all. But what if this girl was raped? What if it was just an accident? What if she's a surrogate for a couple who can't have kids? You know? A lot goes on behind the curtains, and once we care enough to analyze a situation without judging, trying to put all the possibilities in place, then we become thinkers, not judgmental beings. And that way, society becomes more understanding. Religion becomes more about love than hypocrisy and judging. There is always a fine line between being sincere and being honest. It is okay to give an honest opinion about a situation, but we should take time to deeply think and critically look from all angles. Try to look things from the other person's perspective. Try to walk a mile in their shoes. Ask about their health, their family, their well-being so far. It is amazing what a short conversation can bring up. Just don't judge first. In the course of Jung's study, he did an analysis on himself and his patients, and with time realized that life has both the material and the spiritual aspects. Jung believed that by turning their gaze toward themselves and not toward the world, people awaken. They can find their meaning in life, they can get in touch with their personal beliefs, and they can work on improving things that are in their control. This is somewhat similar to what the Stoics believed. Letting go is accepting that we are not in control of everything, especially the outside world. We are but in control of our inner lives, our beliefs, our opinions to situations. So by looking inside, we are able to find out what we accept and let go of that which we don't. According to Jung, more often we worry about the outside world, how people perceive us, what we can do to always present a certain image to the world. This is the persona, the mask that conceals our true selves, what we want others to accept. On the contrary, if we look inside, we get to know our own personal myth, what we have been lying to ourselves about. We get to know how to be true to both ourselves and the people around us, so that what they see and respect isn't just a mask, but a true definition of who we really are. We get to work on ourselves even better and choose what we want to improve and what we want to retain. This is to attain a true definition of who we really are. If we don't learn to look closely at our lives, then we live in a dream, but someone else's dream, what they want us to be. We do as everyone accepts. We are thus not set apart. Looking inside is the foundation of our true self. It is a form of self-exploration and self-realization. It is the true way to individuation, to be set apart. How do we do this? To look inside, we need to spend more time alone. Analyze our behavior, our reactions towards certain things, making lists of these things, our skills, our talents, our failures, our dreams, and what we have done so far. We will thus ensure that we make the right choice concerning what we want to do with our lives, depending on our resources, strength, and motivations. We will eventually grow into unique people with a splendid compass in life. It is normal for human beings to fear looking deep inside. We fear our own flaws. We fear who we may be truly. Thus, Carl Jung says that we fear the hard work we need to do for self-growth. Pride is a form of social protection, more so against our own fears. Jung views pride as a form of self-deception. It prevents us from living a true and authentic life. According to Jung, pride oftentimes shows a sign of weakness and it is a sign of neurosis. Of course, we fear other people hurting our ego, but neurotic people go to extreme lengths to avoid their pride being hurt. They may even avoid a certain career path or living in a certain place. Neurotic people, according to Jung, go over and beyond to protect their pride, and failure is not on their list of things. For example, Someone may have a certain love for dancing, but since they fear the idea of being seen as failures, they may not take the chance to start practicing dance. They fear people seeing their first floppy steps, even if this is essentially a step to growth and achieving what they want, which could actually garner them deserved pride. Pride prevents us from growing in sectors of life. In order to actually succeed in any area of life, we ought to accept to be humble and to know that we are not as great as we think or how we want other people to think. 99% of human beings are born with nothing, not even a talent. So, why think that we are so unique and let our pride prevent us from experiencing life? Making mistakes is part of learning, and looking back, it may even seem silly and we may laugh about it. That is how we live. Through pride, we are ever deceiving ourselves, but deep down below the surface of the average conscience, a still small voice says to us, something is out of tune. Carl Jung said that the difference between a good and a bad life is how well you walk through fire. We are bound to face difficult times as human beings the moment we are born. Sickness, failure, ridicule, competition, heartbreaks, and death. We face them at one point in our lives. No matter how hard or smart we work to escape challenges, we won't. As Buddha said, the noble truth of suffering is that birth is suffering, aging is suffering, and sorrow and lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are suffering. Life is fundamentally suffering. Therefore, the earlier we accept that we will suffer at some point, the better. This is because we are then prepared to handle any situation that comes before us. What if you lose your well paying job today? Do you just quit and cry yourself for pity and handouts? No. Many people have actually used such an incident to even start their own businesses. What if you go through an inevitable divorce and you have kids? Do you give up and stop seeing your children? No. You figure out a way to see them, co parent, strike a balance, and provide a healthy background for them to grow into well rounded adults. Necessity is the mother of invention. Challenges are like the fire, and gold is the finest jewel because it passes through the fire. Diamond is just carbon, but with enough pressure, it becomes a precious jewel. So, however we take challenges is up to us. Let them put us down or rise above them and become unconquerable. Be grateful for your difficulties and challenges, for they hold blessings. In fact, man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health, personal growth, individuation, and self actualization. Our society has placed so much value in people looking younger. There are products everywhere to remove the fine lines and wrinkles, to remove saggy skin for a more youthful look. It is all superficial. Many have thus become averse to the idea of acknowledging that they are older, that they will age, which is okay. Aging isn't just a physical thing, it goes beyond. It is intellectual. You get wiser, more knowledgeable. You can negotiate better and even more. As Carl Jung said, life does really begin at 40. Up until then, you're just doing research. Carl Jung enjoyed an overall good life, a good and stable career, family and financial life. He started his own school of analytical psychology, following an uncharted path and becoming an international voice. What do we learn from this? It is okay to be still figuring out your own way even into your 30s. We do not have to be all rich and successful by the age of 25, as many of the influencers show us on social media. Nowadays, the media has influenced people into thinking that success is an overnight achievement without a lot of work, that you can just do the least you can and have money flowing endlessly to you. But looking into some of the lives of these influencers, it could all be a lie. Some even hire cars and jets for photo shoots just to deceive others. Although this could be reality for some, other people are also still figuring out their path in life. It is not always the same for everyone. The older we get, the better we are at defining what level of success is good for our soul at that point in time. We have learned from our younger years at work, being led by others and their experiences. Being older only means more experience and wisdom. We are thus able to execute certain things well. We can start successful businesses here. We can form stable relationships. At an older age, say 40, we have realized how short life actually is, and thus we can make it possible to voice our opinions and go for what we want no matter what. There are still many possibilities here, and we sure can make miracles happen. The older we get, the more comfortable we are in our own skin, the more confident we are in our abilities, the less concerned we are about what others think of us, and we sure have a lot of personal and professional experience. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was full of wisdom. If you enjoyed it, please watch other videos from my channel, and until next time, bye.